ਸੋ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਸੋ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਸ਼ੌਨ ਫਰੇਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਸੋ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਵਿਦ ਅਸ on our phone line and let's discuss few important points because in last couple of months and or we would say especially last week there were some announcements in regards to the super visa applications. Specifically our today's interview will be focused on the super visa changes, but as long as Minister have some other points, we will discuss those points too. First of all, Minister Sean Fraser, welcome to Harjinder Gill Show.
I'm so pleased to be with you, Harjinder. Let me start by saying 𝗚𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃 to you and your audience.
𝗚𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃, welcome. So Mr. Sean, let's start with the opening remarks regarding the so far. How do you rate the performance or the immigration department is doing so far after the COVID pandemic?
So look, there's no question that we've got really serious challenges that have originated from the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, you can imagine when you shut down your border and are in the business of bringing people to your country, there's going to be certain challenges. As a result of some of the decisions that we're taking to resettle people who were here temporarily, and as a result of some of the pressures with office closures all over the world due to public health measures designed to combat COVID-19, we've got an enormous number of applications in the inventory compared to normal. That said, we're really starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. As a result of some of the investments we've made, including hiring 500 staff, investing $85 million in the fall, another $385 million in the recent federal budget, we're starting to process people at a record pace. A couple of weeks ago, we hit 200,000 new permanent residents this year, which is more than a month and a half earlier than any year on record. And work permit processing is up about 250% compared to last year. So we're really starting to see numbers move quickly. There's still a long way to go, but by the end of this year, we actually expect that we're going to be back to the service standard for most of our lines of business. Citizenship may be a little bit longer than that, but we're now within the next 6 months or so on track to get back to the service standard that was available before the pandemic.
So, Minister, as you mentioned, the plannings are to bring the millions of people here, but at the same time, when we discuss with the different experts related with the immigration field, the biggest concern by them is the shortage of the staff, and there is a big lineup of so many different categories. So what's your take on that?
Look, the fact is there are a lot of people who are in our inventory of cases right now. But what matters to me is whether we have the measures in place to process them quickly. The last couple of years have been really challenging for immigration. We're dealing with people who want to come here to work, to be reunited with their families, or to be resettled as refugees. And we need to continue to work to make sure that we can get people here we've made commitments to, and frankly, that we believe is good for Canada. So as a result of some of the investments that I just described, as well as some policy changes to allow more people into Canada than has been the case previously, and some new technologies that we're adopting, we're starting to see that the rate that we're processing is getting much, much better. There's a little bit of time to go to get there, but through a combined injection of resources, adoption of new policies, and adoption of new technologies, I have faith that we're going to get back to what feels like a more ordinary period to wait for an application to be approved later this calendar year.
Right. So, Minister, what are the main highlights of the recent announcement which was made on regarding the super visa? Because I know there are very there is also a big lineup for super visa as well. But at the same time, sorry, let me complete my question. So at the same time, there is a concern about the parents, because people wants to get their parents on a permanent basis rather than the lengthening the process, or I mean the length of the super visa. So I wanted to know more about the announcement that is made on increasing the length of super visa based parents applications.
Sure. So I think it's really important that the super visa is one tool in our toolbox to help reunite families together. And for far too long, families have been separated, and many loved ones have not been able to be with the people they care about most, their family.
Right.
We want to adopt a number of different policies to make it easier for families to be together. Before I address the super visa announcement, we should also point out that this is in the context where we've decided to grow the number of spaces for the parents and grandparents program from about 23,500 up to 32,000 over the next couple of years. But despite that increase, we still are dealing with a program that could take 200,000 applications in some years, which essentially means that there is still not going to be enough supply of spaces to meet the demand, even with the increase in spaces for the parents and grandparents stream. That's where the super visa changes come in, which will make a very big difference. So the super visa program is a multi-entry visa that allows people to come to Canada temporarily, but for a longer period of time. With the changes we've made, we've increased that period to go up to 5 years with a possibility to extend further another 2 years so people can be here. The other big change that we were hearing about from communities is that medical insurance can be a real challenge as well. So we're working to allow people to buy insurance internationally. Over the next number of weeks and months, we'll be establishing a list of designated insurance providers that will allow people to purchase insurance to ensure that they have adequate medical coverage once they arrive to Canada. These are really big changes, but the super visa program is going to allow more people to be reunited with their families for a longer period of time while they potentially are waiting to apply through the parents and grandparents stream.
Right. So, friends, this is Harjinder Gill show, and Minister Sean Fraser, Immigration Minister, is with us, and specifically we are discussing the latest announcement regarding the super visa applications, because now the government is giving the more people the opportunity to the parents to stay with their family instead of 5 years only. Now they can stay here for a longer time. So, Minister, in reference to the insurance policies for the super visa applications, I was discussing with some insurance experts, and they said when we buy the insurance policy from Canadian company, they are regulated and operated through within the Canadian system. But how about the non-Canadian insurance companies? How the government is going to make them accountable in regards to if there are any cases or if there are any claims? Do you think they will be dealing the same way as the Canadian insurance companies can?
So we're working hard to develop the rules to allow certain insurance providers to participate in this program.
Okay. It's not for all it's not for every company. There would be selected companies only.
Yeah, we're working to put together a designated list of insurers to make sure that the people that are purchasing insurance have a provider that they can trust. The last thing that we want to do is have someone create an insurance company for the purpose of taking advantage of this program, only to have people land in Canada, suffer a medical emergency, and then not have the insurance coverage they need to take care of themselves and receive the treatment that they obviously need and deserve. When we can work with reliable partners that Canadians can trust, that family members who are visiting can trust, we'll have a lot more public faith in the system and ensure that when a person does become ill, they'll have access to the coverage that they need. We have a pretty robust system with the Canadian providers right now, but for some people it's hard to access those providers from abroad. So we're expanding access to international insurance providers, but we'll be limiting it to people who the applicants as well as their families can trust as a result of their reputation and ability to deliver should a claim be necessary.
So when are we expecting to start that process?
So we're starting now to develop the list of providers. I don't have a date for you to announce today as to when the list will be complete because we haven't finished that work.
Okay.
We're starting to work as quickly as we can. The program is going to launch on the 4th of July with the extended period of time. Okay. I expect it'll take us a little bit longer than that to establish the list of designated insurance providers, but we don't want to wait to get the insurance piece finalized when we could be extending the expanded permission to stay for an expanded period of time. We want to make sure when different elements of these policy changes are ready, we roll them out so people can take advantage of this opportunity to be reunited with their families as soon as possible and for a longer period of time.
Right. So, Minister, I know I must mention this, that you and your staff and your department is always working very hard, and but still, if we consider that hard work and the intention of you and your department is still opponent or opposition parties are looking and asking for more results. So what do you want to say to those people who are asking and expecting more and bigger results?
I would say that as the minister responsible, I also want to see more results, and I'm working very hard to give more results. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we're starting to see greater results as a result of some of the decisions that we've taken over the past number of months. Right. I mentioned the fact that we've hired hundreds of new staff, that we've invested $85 million, that we are investing an additional $385 million to improve the experience and to speed up the process. Mm-hmm. We are really starting to see those investments make a difference. There are still a large number of cases that are waiting to be processed, but we are processing them right now faster than we have at any other point. To see that we are now in excess of 200,000 permanent residents, more than a month and a half faster than has ever been achieved, is a very good sign. To see that we are processing work permits at more than double the rate of last year mm-hmm. is a very good sign. And to see that almost all of our lines of business will be back to the service standard that existed before the pandemic by the end of this year is a very good sign. For the first time in a while, I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for this very, very challenging set of circumstances related to the impact of the pandemic on our immigration system. But I have faith some of the decisions we're making now will not only help us get back to normal, but leave us with a stronger system on the back end that is more efficient to see if we can even potentially improve beyond the service standard that we had in place before COVID-19.
Right. So, Mr. I know this is very hard to just to say that that immigration department is not doing enough. But at the same time, when you are working day and night and your staff is working day and night, but still the question is there because of the long lineup and long pile up of different categories as we discussed earlier. Do you think there would be any deadline or any kind of special policy or plan in the coming months or coming years where we can just clean up all the piled up applications and started with a fresh start and with a fast and renewed path, something like that in your mind?
Sure, and just I want to be a little bit careful because I don't want to broadcast a specific policy before it's ready to be announced and the policy work is fully done. Mm-hmm. But there's quite a few things that we're working on right now, including extensions for people with an expedited process who have recently expired postgraduate work permits, right. Including flexibility in the express entry system, so we can target the applications that we approve to the needs of our economy. There's things that we're looking at that can expedite the process of TRVs. Every single day, we look for a new package of solutions that will help alleviate the burden. And we're also in the middle of the biggest digital transformation of Canada's immigration system that's going to allow people to apply online, that will allow our offices to work on files that came in from other parts of the world on the days that they're a little bit slow. Right. There are literally dozens of policy solutions we're pursuing right now with a view to take pressure off the system so we can process cases more quickly and have people come to Canada to work or to visit their family with more reliability on a predictable timeline and a shorter timeline.
Right. Minister, thank you so much for your time today. I just wanted to give you one more minute just to briefly highlight all the major announcements, whatever was made in your last announcement.
Sure. So first of all, let me just say thank you for the opportunity to connect. My personal view is that Canada needs more people. When I look at the economic situation that we are in, the economy is growing very, very fast, but we still have a major labor shortage. We need to welcome more people for work purposes. We also have a lot of Canadians who want to be with their families, and they deserve to be with their families, and that's why we introduced this new super visa program. The program is going to allow people who are seeking to be reunited with their families but have not yet qualified for permanent residency to apply for temporary status. It's a 10-year permission to come to Canada, and you can come 5 years at a time and then extend at least 2 years beyond that to be with your family. This is a much greater improvement from the previous policy that had you only here for a couple of years. To see this dramatic improvement, to have people get to Canada to be with their families for a longer period of time, to expand easy access to insurance from international providers are going to be good things. And we're doing this at the same time that we're putting resources into the system to process cases more quickly so people don't have to wait forever to be with their loved ones. Our immigration system needs to be ambitious to take lots of people, but it also needs to be compassionate to understand that we should do what we can to reunite families wherever possible. It's a very great pleasure of mine to be able to serve in this capacity, to grow the economy, to reunite families, and to also have Canada play a leadership role in the world for humanitarian missions. I really appreciate the opportunity to connect today. I look forward on the 4th of July to seeing those applications for this new and improved super visa start to come through.
Right. So, folks, this was Mr. Fraser, Minister of Immigration. He was with us. Thank you so much, Minister, for your today's time, and looking forward to talk to you in coming months or days again.
Real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care.
ਸੋ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਇਹ ਸਨ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਫਰੇਜ਼ਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਰਿਫਿਊਜੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਤੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸੁਪਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧਿਤ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪਾਲਿਸੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਤਬਦੀਲੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਸਨ। ਵਾਪਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਇੱਕ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ।
For all the latest updates, please subscribe G Media Group and press the bell icon.